Welcome to Focus Interview. Today, we will have a very special topic. We're going to talk about a very important concept in cybersecurity, which is passwordless, blockchain secure authentication. So with us today is Mr. Taib Mustafa, the Director and the Chief Operating Officer of FNS Malaysia Sendirian Berhad. And welcome Mr. Taib to the studio.
Thank you.
Okay, today we will talk about a very important subject in cybersecurity.
Yes.
And the audience has also seen the preamble or the beginning of this solution, which is the concept of passwordless blockchain.
Yes.
So now, with that, Encik Taib, let me start with the first segment of our discussion today,
Okay.
which is the fundamentals
All right.
of cybersecurity, the concepts of passwords. First, let us talk about the issues of passwords in the real world. What you have been in cybersecurity for many years.
Yes.
I think before this you have been in Telecom Malaysia. We have known each other for more than 20 years. So now let's talk about the problem of password.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Assalamualaikum and thank you for being here. On behalf of FNS Value as well as FNS Malaysia Sendirian Berhad, we'd like to take the opportunity to thank Dato' and also SPC for this specific focus on blockchain authentication, which is our vision and our mission is to create a safer world with a passwordless blockchain authentication. That means there is always a problem with identity and password. So as we know, password has been with us generations since the start of IT, since the mainframes that we have to get use of to have an ID, name, and also a password. As we all know that password is a key critical access authentication for us to get into our digital or application services or network. What happened is that over the years, our cyber attackers have found means and ways and vulnerabilities within the password systems. And we have grown to see that we try to fix the problem, still evolving around identity and password. We add in a multi-factor authentication, we add in additional layer of authentication, which is okay for security, but in terms of performance, inconvenience to the user, to the customers that use identity and password, and all the regulatory requirements that require to change the password every 3 months, and then we have to have a set of password that we need to comply with, and this all becoming an issue of inconvenience and also not satisfaction coming from the user's point of view. So in the digital world today, when we all talk about very fast, very easy, convenient, it's very critical for our digital users. So anytime, at any time, any place, anywhere, when they want to have access to their digital services provided by the digital service provider, what they expect? Number 1 is security.
Yeah.
Number 2 is trust.
Okay.
Number 3 is privacy.
Yeah.
But all these 3 must come with very fast, very convenient way of accessing to their digital services.
Right. So here you are offering a solution to the long years of problems in authentication, which
Correct.
is password. What you know, something that we remember. Jazz 1 2 3, ABC 1 2 3, and all sort. And then I can pass my PIN number to my other partner. My PIN number is 1 2 3 4 5. So these are the issues surround password.
Yes.
So now you are talking to us about passwordless.
Correct.
Yeah. So as a counter to having a password, now you are proposing passwordless.
Correct.
Let's talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
What do you mean by passwordless? Are we not going to have any more password?
Yes, basically the digital world today, as we have experienced in so many years, try to protecting our password. And there's no way that we can protect our password there because it is based on a centralized system, a centralized database. Even though we do all the authentication, the layers of authentication is still being stored centrally.
Okay.
And this is something that is vulnerable to hackers, whether it's insider threats or outsider threats. And again, when we talk about passwordless, so we get rid of the whole issues that are related to password, in maintaining a password, in securing a password, in having the password change management, in the operating and managing, administering the users that having the password. So passwordless give a new venue for us in the cybersecurity world to protect our digital access to our services. That means it is fast, it is convenient, and most importantly, it's secure.
Right.
That's what it means by passwordless.
Okay. So now we have a passwordless yet secure.
Yes.
So now, I think that there are quite a number of important terms, or I would say technical terms, that let's talk about it so that our audience can also comprehend it together. Now, you have quite a number of key concepts here. Passwordless is one, we have discussed it.
Correct.
Next is about blockchain secure authentication. Now, you are removing the password, now you are offering a blockchain and with secure authentication. What does it mean? Or in short, BSA. I think we may use the term BSA quite often after this. So what do you mean by blockchain secure authentication?
Okay. Basically, blockchain secure authentication is a blockchain-based authentication and verification using a blockchain technology that is very secure in terms of the proof of trust and everything is within 3 seconds of authentication that we are offering. That is our guarantee. And within that 3 seconds of authentication, using the proprietary technologies of our MRIC, MDV, our KN chain, kernel chain, and our OTSK, which is one-time security key. This is the one that replacing the current password. The one-time security key will be created during the user access. And within that 3 seconds, we use this one-time security key to be distributed with all the other mobile users, the community, the ledgers. So basically, they are the one that doing the verification.
And we'll go into that in much more detail.
Yeah.
So now you're talking about blockchain is being used to provide a secure authentication.
Correct.
Very interesting. There's another term that you use, which I saw in the video as well and in some of your documentation. It talks about multi-factor authentication. So how does multi-factor authentication relates to blockchain secure authentication?
Okay. So when we talk about multi-factor authentication, and multi-factor authentication has been around since I think early as 2015. And it has evolved and developed towards a more matured ways of multi-factor authentication because last time we got used to have like SMS one-time password. As we all know that one-time SMS password also have vulnerabilities and sometimes there's some middle man attack to one-time password using SMS. So now everybody is using email-based mobile push-based one-time password. But again, this is one way of authentication. When we define our blockchain secure authentication, multi-factor authentication, or MFA, what we mean is that we have our own multi-factor authentication with different layers of factors of authentication. Because when using BSA, what it means is that the first time user on board, we already captured the identity of the user as well as the device. That's number one. So we use this device information and also the user information using our MRC to create the one-time security key every time the user call for authentication.
So that will be the combination of several factors.
Correct.
Multi-factors.
Randomly
picked
during that access 3-second windows.
Okay.
And at the same time, the first layer of authentication, the first factor authentication is to make sure that the device, the mobile itself is genuine. That's number one. Number two is the user.
Right.
And then with the creation of the OTSK, the one-time security key, which is the secret key that is developed using our technology and also being distributed randomly.
Okay.
So meaning that when we create that one-time security key using random data or information from the device and from the user and being distributed randomly, so there is no point of hackers to come in and tell where it is the data at one particular time. So we basically create, there is no point of vulnerabilities or no point of hackers to come in and try to hack the data or the information at one particular time. So as we guarantee that within 3 seconds, the authentication will be completed with our multi-factor authentication. So now, after it's completed using our blockchain authentication, we add another layer of multi-factors of authentication using the users, what they know. So they use their biometric, they use their face biometric, their thumbprints, they use their own PIN, they use their own that is provided and only known by the user through their mobile. So when we talk about multi-factor authentication, currently today the technology only provide on the mobile-based multi-factor authentication. They don't provide based on the blockchain multi-factor authentication. So our strength is that we provide both. We provide our own multi-factor authentication using blockchain, and we also provide multi-factor authentication coming from the user side. The private data that we don't cap, but only the user knows themselves, which is their own biometrics, their own PIN, their own icon. So these are all the keys or factors of authentication during the transaction.
Right, we create a seed, an initial seed that goes through the algorithm.
Correct.
That create a one-time
security key,
security session key or something like that. Okay. Right, now let's talk about the technology of BSA. BSA again stands for Blockchain Secure Authentication. So let's talk about components of the technology within the architecture. 4 components here. You described just now also as well. MIRC stands for Multiple Unique Identifiers. What is this MIRC in short?
Okay. MRC is our patented technology, which is created to randomly select which data that will be passed to become a one-time security key.
Right.
So
which data to become the seed of the of the key, of the crypto key, whatever you want to call it.
So it's pretty much different in the concept of today multi-factor authentication or password or secret or one-time password. So these are all being known. It's generated and being known and also being kept in a centralized database. Whereas our one-time security key or the secret only randomly generated by the MRC technology and then will be passed through our KN chain, our blockchain to be verified.
Okay. So meaning not only the one-time key is unique, it's being used one time. The initiation of the one-time key is also random.
Yes.
That nobody knows what's next.
Correct.
So that will enhance the security of this authentication further.
Yeah.
Okay, now that is what MIRC is all about. What about MDV? Multilateral Distributed Verification.
Okay.
What is that for?
All right. So basically, MDV is also another patented technology. Is when we created the MRC, the random key. So this random key, MRC, we created the one-time security key and the one-time security key will be distributed through MDV.
Okay.
So MDV will select the available and also authenticated ledger, which is other mobile phone users
Right.
that is valid,
Yeah.
ready, and able to do the
So
verification.
this is more of like the blockchain part.
Correct,
right?
correct.
Connecting, verifying.
Yes,
The
and also
networks.
doing the hashing
Okay.
algorithm and pass
Okay.
through the group of communities of
Yeah.
the blockchain, the chain within the communities, the private and also the private and public blockchain to do the verification.
Okay.
So that is using MDV. So meaning that MDV will create a randomly what you call a correct and also secured mobile devices that doing the verification.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you have two more components there. Which is a OTSK, which is a one-time security key. This is the one-time
Yes.
usage of the key,
Yes.
right? And also it is very time sensitive as well. It's one
Correct.
time. It's
One
only
time.
one time, one session.
Correct.
Okay, I think we can understand that. The next one you have is the KN
Chain.
chain. What is KN chain?
Okay.
Basically, it says here new global authentication ecosystem that is a hybrid blockchain service independent technology. What is
Okay.
KN chain? Can you explain a
Okay.
bit more?
KN means kernel.
Okay.
So a kernel chain, that is basically another patented technology that we own the private blockchain.
Okay.
So this private blockchain is distributed through our blockchain secure authentication platform servers that use the MDV just now to randomly selected which devices to do the verification that pass on the one-time security key. So this one-time security key will be distributed through MDV via the KN chain, the kernel chain, then will be verified by each of the nodes
Okay.
and will pass back to the servers to say yes or no.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the chain that's
Yes.
verifying.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then we have extensively discussed about the concept and the technical architecture. So let's go for a quick break, and then when we come back, we will discuss a lot more specific on the business angle. How does this solution resolves our business needs? Stay tuned.
Super, fast, easy, safe. Faster, easier, and safer than anything else. Internet shopping, online banking, company intranet access smart life. Simple authentication with security. All-in-one authentication solution. Guardian CCS. The main target of hacking is passwords. Anyone with a password can be targeted at any time. Guardian CCS in life. Smart work, access, ID input without any inconvenient passwords. User confirmation message arrives, logging into the company intranet. If this is you, please approve. Press the OK button to confirm the connection is complete. Smart shopping payment. When you choose what you want to buy, enter your ID without typing in the password that you always forget. User confirmation message arrives. Payment request. Please confirm your identity. Press the OK button to complete the payment. The Guardian CCS Core technology. Kernel Chain Core, our hybrid blockchain network, technology for high-performance trust and security. MIRC. The authentication method combines multiple user factors for strong security key creation. OTSK fundamentally blocks the risk of hacking by automatically deleting authorization information after completion. DMV maximizes security through distribution of multiple verification points based on the independent kernel chain. Easy internet shopping, quick access to the company intranet, fast internet banking, and financial transactions. No need for passwords or any other equipment. The next era of technology within seconds. Smart life with your mobile device. Guardian CCS.
Welcome back to the show. I would like to welcome Mr. Nizari Muhammad from Singapore, and he has been in the banking industry for over 20 years with different roles with different international banks, 15 countries with JP Morgan and Cots RBS as well as Citibank before. So welcome Mr. Nizari to the show together with Mr. Taib Mustafa, the director as well as the Chief Operating Officer of FNS Malaysia Sendirian Berhad. Welcome to the show. Okay.
Thank you, Professor Jess. Yep.
Right, now moving to the most interesting segment of the discussion, the business angle. Let me start first with Mr. Taib. Your product, your solution, it has BSA on cloud, BSA on click, BSA on premise.
Yes.
What does it mean?
All right.
Can you explain more?
Sure. We provide the flexibility in terms how we deliver the services, the solution to our customers. As if the customer prefer to have it on cloud-based solution, then we have our TM1 Cloud hosted the solution as our technology partner, as also our business partner, TM1 Telecom Malaysia. And if we also provide a two-way of basically pricing, so it can be per user license as well as on click. So BSA on click per click is use-based services. You just use as many click and then we bill you at the end of the month. So it gives more flexibility, especially to the small medium enterprise, those that have preference to have the services first before the payment. And the third one is on-premise. On-premise, we provide this flexibility where for government, for the defense industry, for banking, financial services that are regulated and more comfortable to have it on-premise.
Okay.
So meaning that the whole platform can be deployed on-premise at your own data center, managed by your own people, and we provide the technology platform that is integrated to your own internal services.
Okay. All right, understand. Now next, moving on, I would like to zoom into applicability of this passwordless blockchain secure authentication or BSA. I'm talking to Mr. Nizari. I think you have been in Singapore financial institutions for so many years, over 20 years, and Singapore financial system has been the compass of many financial systems in Southeast Asia. Now, can you tell us how would you yourself, from your experience, perceive this solution of passwordless blockchain secure authentication? Would the Monetary Authority of Singapore accept a solution like this to be incorporated?
Okay, I think to answer your first question was that does BSA helps the financial sectors in Singapore? The answer is basically yes, because in the MAS Technology Risk Management Guideline, there is a clause 9 which talks about user access, right? And this user access basically talks about password, your IAM, Identity Access Management, and for the past 20 years, right, this clause has been the bane of every single financial institutions. They will always be finding, you can never get escape from it, because as you know, password can easily be hacked, one. Two, phishing is prevalent, right? And even though you ring fence it with top-notch technology like CyberArk and all those tools that we found, your password is still be deemed as the weakest point, right? So my thought process is the BSA solution, it totally eliminate the use of password. And by eliminating the use of password, it also eliminates the queries or the audit from the MAS clause 9, that is password access. Yeah, so yes, it will definitely help the banking industries if they were to adopt the BSA solution.
What about Malaysian perspective? No? What could be the killer apps, or what could be I would say the prominent apps or systems that being used in Malaysia that can embrace this blockchain secure authentication, passwordless multi-factor authentication system?
In Malaysia, we have BNM, RMIT, the
Yeah.
Risk Management for IT.
Yeah.
We specifically regulate the use of how to protect the ID and passwords, and also to regulate and every banking financial institution licensed by BNM must have a report every month. So it's become something that is non-productive means of both the banking service provider to comply to these password requirements of BNM RMIT, as well as to the user, to the customer that have access to the banking system. Because every 3 months they have to change their password, and the administrator from the bank side also need to change and manage any related issues to the password. So when we produce and promote banking services, especially for digital banking services, passwordless, blockchain authentication, multi-factor authentication, so that makes life easier for both the banking service providers that provide digital, as well as for the user, the customer, because of the convenience, the trust, the fast authentication, and it's secure. So it's also protect their privacy and compliance with our PDPA 2010, and also makes the user own the authentication layer with their own mobile authentication system.
Okay.
So what we are offering to the digital banking services is that we provide BSA at the back end as a white label that still can use Maybank to you, they can still use CIMB Click, but without password.
Okay.
So that's what makes the difference in terms of convenience, fast and security for both the service provider, the banking service provider, as well as the customer that use the system. So that makes a lot of difference in terms of the customer experience. And we're also looking at, for example, a lot of other government's application as well. For example, like MySejahtera, our national digital ID, the up and coming the national mobile application. If we still stick to ID and password, as we know that we have a lot of problems with our data, protecting our data, and I think for the past few months we see that our data is being broken, being sold in the dark web, the dark net. So one of the ways of protecting our data first is to have the blockchain secure authentication with a multi-factor authentication, passwordless.
Okay.
So that's the first security that we need to add in.
Let's go next in terms of ease of use,
Okay.
and also the cost of operation.
All right.
So by adopting this solution, would it be cheaper, easier, or it still become complex and nightmare? Yeah.
All right. I think when we design the solution, the platform, it's always be convenience by design for us, meeting the privacy by design, the trust by design, security by design. But the platform that we created in the API, the SDK that is available to work with any application, whether it's a web services, cloud-based application, on-premise, on cloud. So we basically making sure that the application is easily integrated with the current digital services. For example, if the banks require eKYC, eKYB, then we integrate it together with BSA. That is to provide a seamless customer digital onboarding for the service provider, digital service provider. So the platform itself is flexible enough whether you want it to have it on cloud, you want to have it on premise. But the most powerful thing is that we actually own the source code of any of the integration. We make it possible, we make it fast, and then it's reduce the cost of the operation, because in terms of the license, regardless of how many applications connected through your services, it's always be chargeable through per click or per the user license. And we have a volume-based tiering pricing to make sure that the cost, the higher the volume, the lower the cost of your operations. So if we replace, for example, your SMS OTP, if we replace your currently traditional MFA, it also reduces the cost of operation in managing your identity and password management, your IAM, your single sign-on, and also all the back-end operation, your help desk, your call center, that managing the password or any password-related problems of your users or your customers.
Okay. And Mr. Nizari, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, if I'm a CIO, I will basically be very interested when Mr. Taib talk about cost, right? So it is, I think it is a correct push when he mentioned about cost, because in any organization, cost is something that is grappling or that can bring up or down an organization. From my understanding of the product, right, that the product is interoperable, whether you're using iOS or you're running on Android, right, it's similar. And that's the, I would say, the key enabler, right? The key enabler for any organizations to move from the legacy platform to a new platform. So if the interoperability is seamless and it's easy to use, I see no reason why organizations should not take this BSA solution as a first step to go to passwordless.
Okay. Maybe can you share with us the success stories of this application in Korea? I think it's the source, the initiation comes from Korea. So yes, maybe you can share with us what's your thoughts?
Okay, in Korea, blockchain synchronization is known as GCCS, and GCCS has been deployed for the past since I think 5 years, and currently we have about more than 1 million users, active users, and with more than 30 organizations coming from the government, the ministries, the service provider, telcos, insurance, there are multi education sectors. So there are multiple use cases that are being used from banking, government, education, small medium enterprise, as well as education sectors. So there's a multiple use cases. Why? Again, it's security. Number 2 is trust, privacy, fast and convenience. Okay. So these are all the factors in terms of a cost. It is very, very much smaller cost compared to the current traditional ID and password or any traditional multi-factor authentication.
Right, okay. Maybe last but not least, will these apps go through some kind of security assurance?
Okay. Okay. Yes, basically we are in the process of getting our BSA to be tested under the ISO 15048, which is a common criteria. We are working together with Cybersecurity Malaysia in doing that. We get the benefits of having the common criteria.
Or maybe the trouble also to go through it.
Yes, so common criteria is one of the things that we are looking at. Hopefully, we get the certification by early first quarter of next year.
Yes. That's very nice.
And we also, when we discuss with BSSN Indonesia, which is the regulatory body for cybersecurity, and they also interested to see that once we got our ISO 15048, it's one of the criteria required by BSSN, the regulatory for security, for this application to work and accepted in the Indonesian market. So it is very important, not only for Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, or any parts of the world, even in Korea or any parts of the world, that our solution will be certified ISO 15048, the common criteria. And at the same time also our company is also being certified with ISO 27001. So these are the things that is mandatory as a cybersecurity services provider, especially having blockchain authentication to secure our access to the digital world.
Very promising. Okay. Thank you very much. I think we are at the end of our show. And yes, if you have any question, any inquiries about passwordless blockchain secure authentication, please do not hesitate to contact us as per email on the screen, or you can even contact Mr. Taib directly himself. He has a website, FNS website as well. And thank you very much to Mr. Taib, as well as our guest from Singapore, Mr. Nizari Muhammad. With that,
thank you.
See you the next time with more programs from Focus Interview ESPC. Have a nice day and stay safe.